Hi everybody, my name is Sheila and this is the Ubud Yoga House in Ubud, Bali. And today I'm going to give you a short introduction to yoga and do a little warm-up with you with some yoga poses. So the first thing that I'd like to mention is that yoga comes from the English word yoke, which means joining together or connecting. And what we try to join together in yoga is our mind with our body. Now that might sound pretty simple because your mind's already in the body, but I don't have to tell you that if you have a mind, it likes to wander. You can be sitting on your yoga mat right now. Your body is on the yoga mat, but your mind is off thinking about something else. Maybe thinking about what you're going to have for lunch or dinner, what you're going to do later on today, or what you did yesterday. So in yoga, what we try to do is keep our mind right where our body is. And to do that, we need to give our mind something to focus on. And in yoga, that's our breathing. So the breathing in yoga is a very important aspect of yoga. And so throughout the practice, I will be reminding you to bring your attention back to your breathing. And when you do that, instead of letting your mind wander off and wander, especially thinking about something in the past or in the future, if you can keep your mind right where your body is, your mind will start to calm down all by itself. And many of you might be facing some stress or have some things that you're dealing with in your life, and it would be nice to have a calm mind, and yoga is one way to calm our mind. Actually, the real goal of yoga is calming the mind. It's not to look like all those people on Instagram doing those fancy poses, some of them looking like they're a pretzel. So today I'm going to give you a few warm-ups that you can do for your yoga practice. But first I want to remind you that everybody comes to yoga with a certain body type and a certain anatomy. Some bodies can do things that other bodies just simply cannot do because of their anatomy, their bone structure. And so if you look, you'll notice that my knees are on the ground. My knees are not on the ground because I do yoga. Some of you might be sitting like this. And that just means that your hips are made in a way that your knees will not go down. They might go down as you do yoga, but they may never go to the floor. And some people can do things like this or this just because they can do them, because of their anatomy. So keep that in mind as you're doing yoga, remembering that yoga is really about joining your mind with your body. And the classic example that I give is, just remember, if you're doing yoga next to somebody and they're able to touch their toes, maybe they have long arms and short legs. So let's get started. And first we're going to do one of the traditions in yoga. Yoga is not a religion. It does come with different traditions because it's from India. So first we're going to bring our palms together like this at heart center. This is called the Namaste gesture. And Namaste actually means the person in me respects the person in you. And so we often will bring our hands together like this in a yoga practice, and we say a Sanskrit word. Sanskrit is a language that was spoken when yoga was first introduced. And there's a Sanskrit word which is Om. And Om just means everything is interconnected, comes back to the idea of joining together. And so it is a tradition in yoga to open the practice with the sound of one Om. And you can Om with me, but if you don't want to Om, you don't have to. Some people think it's weird. So if you'd like to open the practice with Om, just gently close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. And now gently place the back of the hands on your legs, open your eyes, and reach your hands out front. Now some of you might reach your hands out front and your forehead will go down to the mat. And some of you will say, what's up with that? And that's simply anatomy. So just walk your hands out, but keeping your buttocks on the mat. And you can lower your head down or simply keep your head up and maybe it goes to the floor. And then bring the palms in, the hands in, take your arms up, place the palms together, interlace your fingers, turn your palms up, putting your thumbs together, your little fingers together, and dropping your shoulders away from the ears. And keeping your attention on your breathing. And now release, interlace the hands behind, open up your chest, and come on forward, just letting your arms come up as they will. Some of you, your arms will flip up practically over your head, and some of you will be down by your lower back. So remember, you're just coming forward and just warming up your shoulders. And then come on back up, and let's come on to our hands and knees. Now this is a warm-up exercise called cat-cow, lots of animal names in yoga. And so you want to have your shoulder right above your wrist, your knee under your hip. You're going to inhale, look up, drop your belly down, stick your tailbone up, and exhale, round up like a cat. And then inhale, coming forward. Exhale, rounding up. And then just continue at your own pace a few more times, just warming up our spine with cat-cow. And the next time you come back to center, put your big toes together, make your knees as wide as the mat, sit back on your heels, walk the hands forward, drop the forehead down, and then you can lift your fingers and press your buttocks back onto your heels, just lengthening out the spine, opening up your hips. And this is called wide angle child's pose. And then coming back up, bring your knees together, take the arms up, palms together, interlace your fingers, and place the arms up, thumbs together, little fingers together, drop your shoulders away from the ears and close your eyes. And keep your attention on your breathing. And then open your eyes, release the hands, interlace the hands behind, open your chest, and come on forward. Once again, opening up the shoulders, don't force your arms. And then release the hands, place the arms alongside the body with palms facing up for child's pose. And this is a pose you can come into at any time during the class. This is a resting pose. And now come on back up to our tabletop position. We're going to go into downward facing dog, which is one of the most common postures in yoga. So I'm going to demonstrate and then I'll have you try it. You're just going to tuck your toes and then I'm going to tell you to lift your buttocks. And then watch what most people do. Look at my back is very round and where my head is, this is not down dog. What we want to do is bend our knees, lift the tailbone, and press back to straighten our spine, and then we can walk the dog. Just trying to warm up our legs, and then we're gonna bend, lift, and maybe bring those heels down to the mat for downward facing dog. So go ahead and try it. Come back to your cat-cow, tuck your toes, lift the buttocks, and then bend your knees, get your tailbone up, press back with your hands, walk the dog. You can make your feet a little bit wider, walking the dog, and then get that tailbone up and lower the heels down to the mat for downward facing dog. And now walk your feet up to your hands, and maybe your hands are on the mat with your knees bent or with your knees straight, and then just roll yourself up to standing. And then put your hands together, interlace the fingers, turn the palms up, thumbs together, little fingers together, and lower the arms down. And now we're going to do a balancing pose as one of our warm-ups. This is one of the poses you've probably seen in yoga. It's called tree pose. So you want to stand on your foot, place The other foot on the inner thigh, open out the thigh, place the palms together in Namaste, lower the shoulders, and focus on the breathing. And then take the foot down, and we'll go to the other side. So just placing your foot on the inner thigh, opening out your knee, hands in Namaste, focus on the breathing. And then taking the foot down, placing the arms alongside the body, and stepping to the front of the mat. And then we'll place our hands on our hips, and then step our feet hip width apart, arms up, coming forward with the flat back, and then taking the hands to the mat, nose to knee, and rolling yourself up slowly to a standing position. How long was that?